professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chance with a professional. With smiles is so good. A chance with a professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chance with a professional.
Your visit to Nigeria, do you think that Baba Obasanjo could be on the street while these Boko Haram people are doing what they are doing?
The objective of the private organization is slightly different from...
Nigeria is the most important country
of education. The collapse of culture in Nigeria. Even with cheating, we can't pass. We've not done enough. There's still more. Join us.
And you'll never regret that you did.
Hello and welcome. This is a chat to the professional. Today we are going to be looking at the relationship between the politics of the day and the economy. Now we are looking at Nigeria's economy, Africa's largest economy as they say. How has this rebasing in 2014 affected the living standard of an average Nigerian? We are going to be looking at what the current administration of Muhammadu Buhari has in stock for Nigerians against the realities, the economic realities as it affects Nigerians as citizens who live in Nigeria. So don't go anywhere. By the time I return from the break, I'll be introducing our guest who is a regular on this show to discuss that with me. Please stay. You're still watching the show Chat to the Professional, and today, like I mentioned in my opening, we are going to be looking at the economy and politics from the viewpoint of an entrepreneur. Today, once again, we have one of our regulars, Akpabio, who is the Group Managing Director, Nanette Hotels Limited. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Now, talking about the economy since the emergence of the new administration, we know that towards the end of the Goodluck Jonathan administration, we were told that the economy had been rebased, and Nigeria's economy happened to be the largest on the continent. Now, on paper, yes, we all know that. And of course, it couldn't have been anything else considering the population of Nigeria. But in reality, you are a businessman. What do you have to say about the economy?
I think the economy of the country, just like human life, is going through phases. Okay. And at the time we had rebasing of our economy, we were at the heights in terms of very good earnings from the petroleum sector, which accounts for over 90% of our income. Yes. And everything was going very well. And when we were met and we discovered we were the largest economy in Africa, everyone was jubilating. But down the line, as you have witnessed and we have all witnessed, we've suffered quite severe economic consequences due to the slide in the oil prices in a negative direction. And when you look at the fact that 90% of our earnings come from this particular sector, any upheaval in that sector will definitely cause great problems for the country. Yes. And that is what we're experiencing now.
Would you like to correlate the political environment? Now we already have new executive team in place, and before now a lot of Nigerians have thought, or rather had thought, that because we did not have people manning various ministries, perhaps that's why there was a slowdown in the economy. And then there was another school of thought that felt that the president needed to understand the system, before, since it was a transition from another political party to the other. I would like you to correlate this entire scenario, the political scene versus the economic realities.
I think when you look at it, yes, the president took a lot of time putting a team in place. As a party which has not been in power for the last 16 years, it's well understood that they will take time to find their footing. But you know, in Nigeria, we are a bit impatient as a country, as a group of people. And I'm sure this impatience came to the fore. For some of us who are in the business world, we also felt that probably the president took a bit too long to finally make up his mind those are to make the ministerial list and by implication manage our economy. But having got the persons, having given them portfolios, I think the country is on the threshold of a new beginning. And I'd like to say one thing. You see, man is not God. No matter who we put in as ministers, no matter how long it takes us to get them together, at the end of the day, the important thing is that we have got the ministers. We have to rely on their expertise. We have to rely on how far they can key into what the president thinks. And I think these are very important aspects, more important than even individually who the ministers are. Yes.
Now, that's you are talking about building institutions here now, and I am wondering, do you think Nigerians are really prepared for change? Because if you look around, the impatience on part of the citizens come from the fact that perhaps for too long wrong things were done, and they were already used to those things as being norms. Do you think Nigerians, as it were, are prepared for change, and are they ready to withstand the, if you like, the trauma that goes with such a revolution?
Nigerians have always been ready for change.
Okay.
I think the question should be better put, are our leaders ready for change?
Okay.
Yes, the Nigerian populace, the Nigerian citizenry have no problems. I've always said this. Where we have our major issues are with our leadership.
Okay.
And why do I say so? Nations are changed by leaders. Nations have their vision put together by proper leadership. Leaderships that are committed, leaderships that enforce, leaderships that don't segregate, leaderships that don't say one thing and do another. And when this leadership is lacking, it is a very big problem for any society. And the citizenry are not very demanding. What do we want as citizens of Nigeria? It's nothing much. We want electricity to be available. We want health facilities that are at our beck and call. We want good education for our children. We want good infrastructure which covers roads, waterways, aviation, and all other things. We generally just want a higher standard of living than what we are experiencing now. And I think if you touch anybody who we call the masses, that is what they will tell you they want. They are not looking for conspicuous expenditure. They are not looking on things that are beyond just the necessities of life. But when we go to our leaders, then that's where we have problems. The leadership creates problems because they have not run the country to give people a sense of belongingness, a safety net. They have not run and kept institutions that make sure that whatever your level in the society, you are protected. And so we have leaders that grab. The grabbing is for them to exist. The grabbing is for them to be able to cure themselves of all the ailments that they feel they will get along their lifetime. So it's a mentality of always looting, always looking for how to survive at the detriment of the entirety of the people.
And the amazing thing there is, if you travel outside this country, you discover that in so many countries, so many unborn children of some of these Nigerian leaders already have houses. And that's where patriotism for me comes into play. It's not like these funds are looted and are kept in the country to create or generate employment. They are taken outside this country. And that leads me to the next question, which is the belt tightening in terms of Forex. Now we all know, it's a common knowledge that even to pay school fees of kids abroad is a major issue. You can hardly source the foreign exchange to do that. So what would be your views as far as that is concerned?
Well, I'd like to look at it from maybe a different perspective.
Okay.
I think we must always be statistically sound in our discussions.
Yes.
In Africa, and in fact, when you look at countries in the world, Nigeria is one of the greatest exporters of students studying outside Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even when you look at the billions of dollars we spend in nearby Ghana, educating our children,
Yes.
it is such a huge drain on our scarce foreign exchange.
Yeah.
Now, statistically also, the CBN governor has come out to say that even from something as small as toothpicks, we have expanded over the years. And when you start from as low as toothpicks, you can imagine that there is nothing that is smaller than toothpicks that you are importing.
Practically everything.
Somebody has said, look, we produce food stuff, we give people to process, and then we buy back from them. We send our children to school abroad, they come back to Nigeria, they cannot find jobs because we've not even had any jobs waiting for them. They are overeducated, they are used to better techniques of doing things, we've not provided them that in Nigeria. We have hospitals, but all our leaders go to the pages of newspapers and we escort them to the airport when they are going for rudimentary health checks, and then we put bands to dance for them when they come back. And so all these are foreign exchange that are going. We don't have foundation. Somebody was saying, look at even sports, look at tourism. In sports, we make sure our young people go outside Nigeria, and then we try to plead with them to come back. And when they come back, they find that the society is not there for them to exist in. So I look at it that we seem to delight in doing everything wrong and then hoping for the best. And the hoping for the best has made us go into spiritualism, and we are the most religious country in the world. Every 5 houses, 2 are churches or mosques, and yet our standards have not
I was going to say that we are too spiritual, we are too religious, but we are not spiritual. That's the unfortunate thing.
So
anyway,
these are the issues.
We need to take a break now. Don't go anywhere. When we return, in Akpabio and I will continue with this conversation. Please stay.
Chats with a professional. Chats with a professional. With smiles is all good. Chats with a professional. Chats with a professional. With smiles is all good.
Do you think that Baba Obasanjo could be on the street while these Boko Haram people are doing what they are doing?
The objective of the private organization is slightly different from...
Nigeria is the most important country
Of education, the collapse of culture in Nigeria. Even with cheating, we can't pass. We've not done enough. There's still more. Join us.
And you never regret that you did.
You're welcome back. You're still watching A Chat to the Professional, and we are discussing today the economy and politics. we are looking at the relationship between the current political dispensation and the economic realities of our dear country, Nigeria. So before we went on break, we were talking about Forex, and that takes me to the next line of thought, which is about citizenship. Has the Nigerian government over the years created a conducive environment or an atmosphere that encourages every Nigerian, wherever he or she is, to stand up tall and say, I am indeed a Nigerian, and is willing to die for the country?
I don't think we've done that, and I look at it this way. The greatest way to prove patriotism amongst your citizenry is just to tune on to CNN. And if you look at CNN and look at the statistics from CNN, you come to realize that the last year, and especially this year, has witnessed one of the greatest numbers of migrants from the developing and troubled parts of the world to the stable, peaceful, secured, developed societies.
Yes.
And when you look at Al Jazeera, CNN, and any international news agency, you'll find that whenever there are migrants that are either killed trying to escape or are captured, you'll find that Nigerians are there. So Nigerians have spoken. They have spoken with their feet. And what they are telling our government is that the country is so rough, so terrible, that we are ready to risk our lives going through the Sahara Desert or going through the oceans to seek for greener pastures, for better places. Even when they go to these places, they are ready, willing, voluntarily to live as second-class citizens. And so when you look at that, you now want to marry it to your question, can we die for the country? And then I'll also retrospectively ask, is the country worth dying for?
Yeah.
Is this a country that if you spend 10 years or 20 years in one particular town or state, you can never be recognized as coming from that part of the country?
Yeah.
Is that country worth shedding our blood for? This is a country that institutions are not there to assist you. This is a country that do not look after her citizens, a country where pensioners who have sacrificed their youthfulness at the workplace die waiting to be paid. That country is not very much a country that people will say, I am proud to be a Nigerian. But on the other hand, I have been in many groups and I see people stand up, oh, Nigeria is the best place to be. Oh, I cannot stay out of Nigeria for a long time. And I said that to them, you are not up to 5%. I repeat myself.
Yeah.
Your group are not up to 5% of the entire 100% that make up Nigeria. And so, just because you can eat 3 square meals, you can travel in and out of Nigeria, you use Nigeria as your playground, that does not mean that the majority of people are not finding it very, very difficult. There's a lot of poverty in the country, and it's very, very sad.
I agree with you. There's so much hunger in the land, and anybody who tries to downplay that is obviously not being realistic. In any case, we keep pushing, and my next line of thought is taking a cue from what you mentioned about Nigerians going through the Sahara Desert for better living. And we have situations right now where in some parts of this country there have been demonstrations, people seeking self-actualization, wanting to reenact what we had in the early and mid-60s that eventually led to the civil war that we had. And I've heard lots and lots of comments coming particularly from politicians. Some have called them noisemakers, some have called them miscreants. I've heard all sorts, and I get a little concerned as a Nigerian, and I would like to ask you, do you think that people expressing how they feel and in the way and manner it's been done so far could be referred to as a group of miscreants or noisemakers coming together just to seek attention?
We have to be very careful. We must be students of history. Let's look at the Boko Haram menace that has befallen us. If you look at the Boko Haram menace, it started a very long time ago. We used to look at it, at that time it was named Metasine, and we did not take it as something very serious. And what happened to us was that the Metasine metamorphosed to something else, and then we thought it was a reaction to political issues, and it metamorphosed to a group that had ideological leanings, which we were told was anti-education. And then much later, we then discovered that they even had links with international terrorist organizations. So with that kind of experience, I don't think we should take anything lightly. And when you have a group of persons who feel that they are not regarded in their country, who want to break away, even with a very recent history of a civil war, then the government has to sit up. But I would like to say that the current government is doing as much as it can to make sure that we run what you call an inclusive government. Time without number, the President Muhammadu Buhari, has come on air to say that he is going to defend every Nigerian. He has also demonstrated in many ways. He has tried his best to commence and commission projects in different parts of the country, the southeast, the south-south, the north, and so on and so forth. And he has said he is trying to close all the loopholes through those monies that went through corruption, the monies that got lost through customs, the monies that got lost through the lack of a single treasury account. And so we are hopeful that in a very short period, Nigeria will have a greater quantum of money. And if this money is judiciously expended with less corruption and looting of the same money, then the importance, the value of the money will be felt by everybody. And we are trying our best, and I think the government is also trying to do that, to ensure that we don't live in a country that perception rules the day. And what do I mean by perception? There seems to be a perception that the president is not very happy with the southeastern part of the country. And it may be a mere perception, but I will advise the president and all those around him that perception is a very important aspect when it comes to managing human beings. Once people have a wrong perception of who you are or what you want to do, it can easily be translated as reality. And so the president and his persons and those who manage the economy, those who manage the politics of the president, should try very urgently to douse that negative perception so that we don't have groups coming up reenacting the far historical aspects of creating a Biafra country, or for that matter any other country within the Nigerian community. So these things will happen if people perceive, even if it's wrongly, that they are not included in whatever the government is doing.
I think I totally agree with you. A good number of Nigerians who went out there to support President Muhammadu Buhari would be disappointed if at the end of the day we do not see a situation where all parts of the country is being carried along. Like you rightly said, perception means a lot in leadership. And if you, no matter how good intentioned, your thinking might be, so long as the people those intentions are meant for do not receive it well, they don't see it as something good for them, you will never fly with it.
That's correct.
So on this note, I'd like to thank you once again for being a part of the show today. Thank you so
very much.
And we hope that next time we'll be able to sit together to review the country in such a way and manner as would give a lot of hope to all Nigerians. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Martins.
Please don't go anywhere. We'll take another short break and we'll be back to wrap up the show. Okay, that's the much time would permit today on the show, a chat to the professional. Come next week, we are, God willing, going to be having another professional of note to talk about another issue of either national or global importance. But for now, that will be all from me today, saying thanks once again for being a part of our show and see you next time.
Chats with a professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chats with a professional. With Martins Owood. A chats with a professional. Oh, 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 oh. A chats with a professional.